You know, there are some specific times in a person's life when they can really, really use a beer. And I'm not talking about oh, I just got out of work, I really need a beer. No, 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 no. I'm talking about the times when you are suffering some sort of trauma, some sort of pain, some sort of ordeal. For instance, if you've gone through a 2-hour tattooing session on a very tender part of your arm. Ow. Plus being laid out very uncomfortably with your head back on a paper towel roll and your arm going numb, your ass going numb and all that stuff. And this was just the outline. I'm getting the color done for that piece in another month. So obviously I need a beer. So today, one I've been waiting on. Founders, Project PAM. It is a black IPA aged in maple syrup bourbon barrels. So you got a big combination of bold flavors right there. 10.8% ABV. I don't think there's anything else in the bottle I really need to look at. I love the artwork on this one. Founders is always really good with that. And I've been very happy with pretty much everything I've had from Founders. I don't have a lot of experience with black IPAs. The ones that I've had, I've liked. I think black IPAs actually spoke to me a little bit more before regular IPAs did. Just due to the little bit more roastiness of them. This one being aged in maple syrup bourbon barrels, I had to jump at this one. 10.8% ABV again, a little high on the scale there, but I can deal with that, especially to deal with the trauma on my arm. Oh, seriously, if any of my viewers ever get a tattoo near your armpit, that soft fleshy area, oh, it is bad. I mean, I've had tattoos. I'll just, a little aside here before I dip into the beer. I've had tattoos like on my elbow here and everything. Elbow's a piece of cake. Two worst parts, right up in here, that fleshy area, like the underside here, and the wrist. Oh, two worst parts. But back to the beer. Turning into like my old podcast, right? So let's take a whiff here. I'm smelling some of the bourbon off of there, a little bit of roastiness. Not smelling the sweetness of the maple, but the maple syrup, I have a feeling that'll come in the taste. Ooh, that is very, very boozy. A little bit more boozy than I actually expected for a 10.8. The maple syrup, though, kind of tempers the booziness a little bit. The bourbon comes in first, and then the maple syrup kind of hits the back end there. Very nice and roasty. The interesting thing about this is I would almost, it's a black IPA, I would almost mistake this for a less bold imperial stout, if that makes sense. And you look at the color here, I mean, that has that darkness that is very much like an imperial stout. I'm not getting a lot of that hoppy bitterness that you use the hoppy descriptor. I hate doing that, but it is what it is with that. But it doesn't have that hop forward bitterness that IPAs typically have. Again, it's a black IPA, so you're probably more roasty in that respect. That is good though. It's very comparable to an imperial stout in terms of the flavor, in terms of the booziness of it, especially a bourbon barrel imperial stout. But there's something about it that isn't quite as bold as one of those, and I like that. It sometimes you're in the mood for one of those, knock you on your ass imperial stouts. Sometimes you want something a little bit easier. This is kind of right in between those two. Very, very drinkable. Very nice. Now, to be fair, I've cracked open this bottle. This one glass is probably going to hold me for now, and I'll seal it up with that that bottle opener sealing tool that I have. Save it for another night, another 2 or 3 days, something like that. I don't like to leave them open for too long like that. But this is very, very good. If you like black IPAs, and even if you're not sure about black IPAs and you like, say, imperial stouts, give this one a try. Founders did really nice with this. My only complaint, and I wouldn't even say it's necessarily a complaint, I could have done with maybe a little bit more forward on the maple syrup, but they're maple syrup bourbon barrels, so obviously you're going to have the bourbon more at the forefront than the maple syrup. That said, I still picked up all the elements and I really, really liked it. So, Founders Project PAM, black IPA aged in maple syrup bourbon barrels, 10.8% ABV. With that, I will see you guys for the next review, and hopefully I'm all healed up by then.